My name is David Kuria. I'm the County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment, Energy and Natural Resources in Kiambu County. And I'm happy to be here to listen to the review of tariff for THIWASCO, that is water company, which is constitutional requirement by WASLEP or Water Regulated Board, where if you want to review your tariff either upward or downward, you must follow some particular guidelines. And today we are gathered here in Thika with the stakeholders to discuss these tariffs, the proposed tariff, so that we can be within the law. So it's a very important, very important exercise that all the WSPs or water service providers must follow, and today it was take a time. And I would like to say this, we've seen a lot of changes economically, we've seen a lot of change environmental wise or climate change wise, and therefore we have to live with the reality or within that reality. And therefore every company must review its tariff so that we can be able to support our operations, and also to provide water as we are mandated. And today we are now consulting other stakeholders. You know, this company is 100% owned by the county, and therefore we are consulting all the stakeholders so that we can agree whether these costs or these tariffs are agreeable with them, and we see to it. I mean, we see how they can be accommodated in the new what do we call the new tariff, the new proposals. And we have started this, or we started this process like 2 days ago. We have met the political arms, that is the MCAs. We have also met the users, and now we are meeting with the wider stakeholders. So yesterday I forgot to say we met with the professionals and people who are business people and all that. And all this is a constitutional requirement or public participations. Actually, I'm so happy that in all the, I would say in most of the regulators bodies, WASLEP is one of its kind, because you have to bring people together. You don't just increase on tariff or cost of something without consultations, and therefore we have to consult even the customer themselves. I have observed over the time I've been here as a county executive, a member for environment and water, that we have in the past, most of the WSPs concentrated on selling water without looking backwards to see where that water coming from, or without even looking at or assessing what is the quality and the quantity and the quality of water that they have been supplying or they are getting from their sources. And it's a bit sad to say that if we continue with this trend, we will not have enough water in the next 10 to 20 years, because our sources are quite degraded. They are being depleted over time. Most of the water for Kiambu come from upstreams. We have the South Aberdare or Kikuyu Escarpment forest, but if you look at those forests, they are shrinking daily because of several human or illegal or unsustainable human activities. We have encroachment. We have over-harvesting of some of these forest products. We have poor farming methods. We have siltations. We have many other, negative activities, and therefore we can't leave all this conservation to Kenya Forest Service alone. We have to come and devise us with, devise a way that can be able to put back some money to conservation or to protecting and securing our sources. And this is what I'm saying. Even in this tariff, we need to have a cost for securing our water sources, and that should go back, and it should be channeled through again back to the water companies or the water department within the county, which is mandated in terms of in terms of conservation of our natural resources. And we have that framework. I've already developed that framework. And we are kindly requesting all WSPs as they do the budgeting, and as we look at these tariffs, we are able to factor those costs in. Now it's sad, and I don't want to say that we should not do what we are supposed to do legally. Sometimes we have been giving a lot of fee to other agencies, but when you question and when you look back, you ask, have they been able to put back that money? I'm appealing that we need a consultation with the WRA, that is Water Regulation Authority. Even WASLEP itself, we need to also to think they have some fees that we give, but I have a problem personally, and this is my own view, that sometimes that fee does not go back to conserving water. It's more on management, it is more on O&M, but we don't have a direct investment in terms of conservation of our resources and securing water resources. And our business is water. Therefore, we have to have a sustainable way. And therefore, we are pleading, and we will continue appealing to WASLEP and others to review those costs. And if they can be minimized, and we have a conservation fund that can be able to be used in conserving and securing our water sources. I want to remind people and point out to our residents and all the Kenyans, there was a case in South Africa, Cape Town, where they had this strange phenomena where all their water sources dried up and they had to buy water. When research was done, it was found that they did not take care, or they were not, caring for their water sources. They were only concentrating on using water, but they were not going back, upstream to find out what is happening within their water sources. And actually, it was a bad situation where people were selling water. It became very costly. The town was dirty, and people, the areas were infested with several insects, including bedbugs.
My name is John Wangujuguna, a resident of Thika Town constituency, and also working with the Office of the Member of Parliament for Thika Town. One, I want to appreciate that THIWASCO has come from far, and they have done so much to ensure that people of Thika get water, despite the challenges that are there. We are here to deliberate the issues of the review of water tariffs, noting that the last time it was done was back 2016, and now we are here to deliberate on the issue of the review, noting that it expired in 2019. One, we have to understand that based on the water demands that are there, we need people to get water. We need Thika to have an expansion of the current water infrastructural systems, and based on all those demands, and noting that the current water shortages that are there, this THIWASCO water body need to have resources, and based on that, we are in support of the review of the tariffs, and based on the current economic situation of our people, and based on the survey that was done, in our keen assessment, we find that we support the current water tariffs review because they are in line with the current socioeconomic impact assessment that has been done. And also going forward, we know that the income that is going to be generated based on this increase of the tariffs that are there, that increment will create an income which is going to assist in generation of more water and address the water needs in Thika Town constituency. The tariffs are fair, they are affordable. Looking at the other bodies that are also supplying the similar amount of water around, we realize that THIWASCO is the lowest, and even the increment that is being done, that increment is still affordable and realistic. And also noting that THIWASCO did a survey on socioeconomic impact of our people, and based on that, they came up with some figures that are seriously and fairly justifiable and reasonable and realistic.
Thank you so much. My name is Honorable Lawrence Gitau Kamagathi, a member of County Assembly of Kiambu, and also the chairman for Water, Environment, Energy natural resources, and the climate change. Today, we have come in this public participation gathering to understand, as is the law, that the tariffs for the water company, that is Thika Water and Sewerage Company, need to be reviewed. And tariffs review is a law, is legal, is a process that borders on the laws of the Republic of Kenya. And that's why we have come. For me, holding an opinion as a person and secondly as a representative of the public, and thirdly as a chairman, I am privileged to say that we support the tariff review slightly upwards for the reasons that I have seen numerous complaints of people lacking enough water, lacking sewer systems, lacking even the trucks that would ferry and deliver water to where there is acute shortages. And that is why we have seen that the company is struggling to make these ends meet. And therefore, if it happens that tariffs can be increased from as low as 30 shillings to, say, 50, our members will be protected and they can afford it. Having been actually as the chairman of all the 8 water companies, Thika at 50 will still be the lowest. But again, we need to know that our population is so high that if we don't move with the speed to expand water treatment plants and substations, if we don't do that, people will continue suffering. I go around the entire county. I know what people in Gatuanyaga are doing. They are suffering a lot. I have places like Komorige Estate, in Tora, and Wetavia, all those places where I traverse every single day. They suffer. Why? Because you don't have enough water, but the river, Chania and Thika rivers, are just flowing to Indian Ocean. So, and I wonder how else can we do if we don't expand the facility. The facility expansion is done by money. And this money is the revenue collected from sales on water. A company like THIWASCO is not a profit-making company, and therefore, whatever they get in terms of revenue is plowed back to expanding the facilities. So we are asking our members, especially the participants and institutions that support THIWASCO, to come forward and try to enlighten our public, general public, our people, to understand that if we do this, we shall be empowering the water service provider to give our people more water, sufficient water, and clean water. We have several other sources of water, including boreholes and all those. But I can tell you for sure, water that is not treated cannot be guaranteed in this era of maladies, calamities, and health hazards. So let us support our water companies so that they can treat clean and good water for consumption. And finally, I am also trying to, advise that WASREB and also the Earth Water, who are our partners in this game, that the charges we are asking these water companies is too high. If we can reduce them, or rather if we can plow back what we charge them, we can actually harvest enough money to assist our people. Because even though in devolution water is devolved, but the Ministry of Water also hold hostage most of these facilities, and sometimes there are conflicts. A person of my caliber as a chair wouldn't want this kind of back and forth. What we only wish to see happening is the cordial working relationship and some considerations in terms of charges. If it is lowered, the better for the public. Because I stand for the public, I wish to add there and say, may we now consider this tariff the way as is the law, so that we can, one, protect our consumers and finally give them the services they deserve.